Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Lesbian and Gay Big Apple Corps Marching Band.
and realized that we needed to stand together to show our support, not only in New York City, but across the globe, is telling to the power of the LGBTQA community. We are not one, we are many. And when we stand together, we stand stronger than any other point in history. I do want to bring up our first speaker. He has been a friend and an ally to our community, and that's Governor Cuomo. From passing marriage equality in 2011 and enacting gender last year, Governor Cuomo has always stood shoulder to shoulder with us, and I can say that firsthand. Though not just words but actions, the governor has sent a message across our nation that this state will not tolerate bigotry or discrimination in any form. He has affirmed that in New York, you have the right to live free, and that is something I think we can all be thankful for. Now across this country, people look to New York as a leader in the progressive and LGBT movement. Governor Cuomo is our friend and a national champion for the LGBT rights movement. Please join me in welcoming our friend, Governor Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you. First, to Unique Ortiz and all the people who worked so long and hard to organize today. Let's give them a round of applause. And this is a beautiful sight. This is New York at its best, coming together to speak with one voice. Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, the Orlando massacre, I'm sure, has stirred a cauldron of emotions in all of us. The shock, the pain, over 100 people killed or injured. The senselessness of it is staggering. The frustration at a society that would allow a madman to buy an assault weapon has gone on for too long. We went through it at Sandy Hook. How many people have to die before this federal government comes to its senses? We had Columbine, we had Virginia Tech, we had Sandy Hook, we had San Bernardino, we had Aurora, Colorado. When does it stop? We passed gun control in this state. We outlawed assault weapons in this state. We know it can be done. We know it can be done. We know it's controversial. We know it takes political courage. But we're saying to our federal government, we want that political courage shown. And don't you come home until you pass sensible gun control. And it stops now. It does us no good as a state to outlaw an assault weapon when someone can get in a car and drive 3 hours to another state and buy it and drive it over our border. Until we have a national policy, none of us are safe. And this is an American curse. It is not an international curse, and we should learn and we should move forward. But my friends, it's worse. This was not just a senseless act. There was literally a method to the madness. It targeted the LGBT community, and that is vile, and that is evil, and that is hatred, and we must all stand up with one voice and condemn this activity as one society. Now the question is, with all this emotion, what do we do with it? What do we do with it? And what I say to you tonight is let's take emotion and let's make it a force for good, and let's make it a positive force. And let's take that emotion and let's rise up and let's rise above and let's reject the ignorance and reject the bigotry and don't stoop to their level. And let's forge a community that is actually strengthened by this attack and more unified to achieving justice for all. Let us this evening, let us follow Martin Luther King's words when he said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Let us heed the words. Let us heed the words of James Baldwin. Love does not begin and end the way we think it does. Love is a battle, love is a war, and it is a war we cannot lose. Let's do, my friends, what New York does at its best. What we do at our best is we rise to the occasion and we show the way forward. That's what we did when we were the first big state to pass marriage equality, and it rippled all across this nation. That's what we did when we stood up as a state and we passed gender, and it rippled all across this nation. When we passed the hate crimes law that is the strongest in the United States, and it rippled all across this nation. When we stood up and banned conversion therapy, and it rippled all across this nation. New York is not just another state, he says as an arrogant New Yorker. New York is different, and New York is special, and when New York talks and New York speaks and New York leads, the other states take notice. Let's say tonight, with this emotion we feel, this is the day that the federal government must promise us that they will pass sensible gun control, because enough is enough. We say to our enemies tonight, you haven't caused us fear. You have caused us to be more unified than ever before, and let's pledge tonight to have the largest pride parade in history and have the largest turnout, and I will be with you shoulder to shoulder, marching, and let's show them our response and invite every New Yorker to the largest and the safest pride parade in history. Let us do what we did after 9/11. And let us build back a monument better than ever before. Let us make Stonewall not just a national monument, but an international symbol for all to know that freedom started here in 1969 in the Stonewall, and it moved this state, and this state moved this nation, and we will not stop until we have freedom for all. And my friends, let us recommit ourselves tonight as we are here. Let us join hands one with the other, and let us say to the world, we believe in New York. We are all in this together. We are all one. We are a family of New Yorkers. We are a community, and there's a cord that connects you to you to you to you, and maybe you can't see it, Maybe it's an invisible cord, but it is there. And it connects us, and the cord weaves the fabric. And we believe in New York, when one of us is raised, we are all raised. And when one of us is lowered, we are all lowered. And we believe in New York that an attack on any of us is an attack on all of us. And that's what you have done. And we tell our enemies, we do not fear you, we pity you. And you have not struck terror into our hearts, you have unified our hearts. And New York promises Orlando and every community across this globe that we stand more united today, more committed today to the fight for individual freedom than ever before. No one's going to tell us who we are or how to live our lives or the person we were meant to be. That's what New York is all about. And we promise to rededicate ourselves to the cause of freedom together as one. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor Cuomo. You know, before we go to our next special guest, I just want to highlight that we had so many organizations involved in making today possible. Something of this magnitude doesn't happen easily, and I want to specifically thank our sisters and brothers in the other LGBT Democratic clubs in our city, Lambda Independent Democrats of Brooklyn, Gay and Lesbian Independent Democrats in Manhattan, the Lesbian and Gay Democratic Club of Queens, as well as the Jim Owls Democratic Club in the west side of Manhattan as well. Now, you might know him as a Grammy-nominated multi-platinum artist, and you might also know him as a strong and stealth advocate for the LGBT community. Please join me in welcoming Nick Jonas.
So much for having me here. I'm so humbled, and
I'm such a has-been.
I think more than anything, I just want to speak from the heart and say that I woke up yesterday to the news, like all of you, and my heart broke. I grew up here in New York City and New Jersey, performing on Broadway shows, surrounded by some of my closest friends from the LGBT community. My father, a minister from New Jersey, shaped my view that love is love, and we are all equal. And that no matter who you are, where you're from, or where you're going in your life, you have the right to love and to be loved. I love you. And so yesterday, thinking about the families of the victims and the lives lost, I just thought, that could be my friend. That could be my people. And all I thought was, I feel such pain and sadness for the victims and their families. And what's so powerful is how brave this group is here today, and how brave all of the LGBT community is. And I'm humbled and honored to be able to say that we are powerful and we can make a change. And I'm no politician. I have a humble and small voice. But when you look out and you see the faces here, you know that if we all raise our small voices, we can do a lot of good. And we do need to see change. Enough is enough. And I think we're headed in the right direction. Thank you so much for letting me speak. And please know you are not alone. New York is so strong, and we ain't scared of anybody. Love you all. God bless you.
I'm going to get started with my speech. I am Rossy Mendez, and I am an out Puerto Rican lesbian in the New York City Council. I am also the chair of the largest LGBT caucus in the New York City Council. And my brothers are standing behind me, so thank you all for being here. Yesterday, for me, was a bittersweet day, for I was filled with pride as I marched with my friends in the 59th Puerto Rican Day Parade. Yesterday's parade honored and acknowledged the contributions of the LGBT Ricans who laid the foundation for our rights on our island. However, as we were celebrating those achievements, the details were unfolding of how our LGBT brothers and sisters of Puerto Rican, Latino, and African American descent were murdered in the nightclub in Orlando, Florida. 50 of our hermanos y hermanas were murdered, and another 53 were injured in the June 12th tragedy. While this investigation is ongoing, it is clear that the Orlando shooter attacked the Pulse nightclub clientele because they were gay, because they were part of the LGBT community. And because they were Latino. He killed 50, but he attacked us all. And he attacked us because of who we are and because of whom we choose to love. And simply, this is a hate crime. And we are mourning, but we will not be silent. We cannot be silent because the memories of our 50 LGBT brothers and sisters demand that we speak out against this senseless crime. It demands that we organize so that no other individual can perpetuate such a hideous crime in the future. And that is why we must organize to ban the sale of semi-automatic assault-style weapons in this country. We must organize to have real, meaningful gun control legislation. And maybe we would not have been able to stop what happened in Orlando. But if a ban existed, then I am sure that this would not be what it is being called today, the deadliest mass murder in U.S. history. I want to read a few lines from Pedro Pietri's poem, Puerto Rican Obituary. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel, all died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. All died waiting for the Garden of Eden to open up again under a new management. All died dreaming about America. Orlando, please know that the Puerto Rican Latino community, the LGBT community, and all of New York City mourns with you. Let their deaths be in vain. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Our final speaker before we go into the final part of our night is no stranger to the LGBT community.